Hello, how are you? Few people know the extremely important role that water can play in controlling blood sugar and glucose spikes. Today I'm going to tell you, scientifically proven, what can help you when it comes to hydration, the role dehydration plays, and how it affects blood sugar control. You're going to love this video, so stay until the end because you won't want to miss it. I'm even going to give you tips on the best times for you to drink water. Before we start, I want to ask you, how much water do you think you drink in your daily routine? Are you someone who always carries a water bottle with you? Or not? Do you sometimes forget to drink water and only remember when your mouth is really dry? Write it for me. I'd love to see your comment. Just make sure you're being honest, okay? If you can, go ahead and like the video now. That's super important to me. In fact, it shows YouTube that you support the channel, that you trust my content, and it helps more videos like this reach you to help you out. It's important for us to understand why water, something that doesn't even have calories, could impact blood sugar. Why is Patricia talking about this in this video? It might seem simple, but hydration actually has a real impact on glucose metabolism because when we get dehydrated, our blood becomes more viscous and the body releases more stress hormones. To compensate for this dehydration, insulin resistance increases. The kidneys end up filtering less glucose, and your blood sugar can rise more from the same meal than it would if you were well hydrated. So, the first thing in this equation is the more dehydrated you are, the more unstable your glucose tends to be. And this is especially true right in the morning, after meals that are already very salty, after you drink beverages that are very sugary, concentrated in sugar, on very hot days in people over 50 or 60 years old. And obviously, it's not that water will lower your blood sugar like a medication would, but it does reduce the mechanisms that would raise blood sugar. Remember that this video is not intended to replace any kind of medical or nutritional consultation. If you have any questions, talk to your doctor. There's even a hormonal issue involved with this dehydration that many people are not aware of. When the body detects this dehydration, it releases the antidiuretic hormone, also known as vasopressin, which increases gluconeogenesis, that is, the production of glucose by the liver, makes the insulin response more difficult and tends to raise basal blood sugar levels. This hormone is secreted precisely because it wants to hold in the urine, right? It wants to prevent you from producing and eliminating more water through urine. But this dehydration ends up pushing your blood sugar higher. Proper hydration helps the body bring blood sugar to more stable levels, and this is pure physiology, which has already been demonstrated in several metabolic studies. Some people report feeling as if their blood sugar drops after drinking water. So why does this happen? Because when we hydrate ourselves, blood volume increases, blood viscosity decreases, and the kidneys start filtering better again. Glucose circulates more efficiently, and the insulin response itself can improve, right? It's a process of physiological normalization, and this raises an important question. Is there truly a way to drink water more effectively? One that could go a step further and help optimize blood sugar control even more over time? There are 3 moments you can focus in your daily routine. Of course, drinking water throughout the day is the best recommendation, but there are 3 key moments that can give you an extra boost. The first is when you wake up, because we've already gone through 7, 8, 9 hours fasting without consuming any liquids, right? The whole time you're asleep, you're not drinking any water. So, during this period, the antidiuretic hormone usually rises, circulation slows down, and blood sugar tends to be higher. So, a glass of water when you wake up will help lower blood glucose concentration and improve perfusion. And it will optimize the metabolic response before that first meal we have in the morning. Another very important moment is 15 to 20 minutes before main meals, because studies have already shown that when you start a meal hydrated, it improves your satiety. The hunger center and the thirst center are very close in our brain. This can help reduce food intake, which already helps prevent consuming a large amount of food that could alter blood sugar levels. And it can even reduce postprandial glycemic spikes, those that happen indirectly after eating. So, in a very interesting way, it can help you. A third important moment is also when your body is already showing signs of dehydration. And you can usually associate this with intense heat, right? When you've already sweated a lot, when you've had a lot of coffee, which in fact isn't even recommended for us to do, but I know many people do it in their daily lives. If you've consumed a large amount of alcohol, which is also not recommended for people living with diabetes, because on top of everything else, it can throw your glucose levels dangerously out of control, in addition to dehydrating you, especially when you eat very salty meals. So in these cases, water helps the body return to balance. A lot of people also ask me, is there a wrong way to drink water? Water is just water. It won't do any harm, right? But anything in excess is bad for you. Even things that are good for you, if consumed in excess, can be harmful to some people. Drinking an absurd amount of water all at once, 4 cups, 8 cups to make up for something can dilute your electrolytes, trigger a stress response in your body, increase urination very rapidly, and can reduce metabolic stability. So, like I said at the beginning of the video, the ideal is to drink water throughout your day, a glass, then another glass. Here's a really good tip I like to give. If you go to the bathroom to pee, take the opportunity to drink a glass of water. That way, you'll keep your intake steady and consistent throughout the day. So, a very important detail for those who have problems controlling blood sugar is the health of our kidneys, right? The kidney is responsible for eliminating glucose when it's too high in the bloodstream, but it will only work properly if it's well hydrated. So, in people with diabetes, even mild dehydration can reduce kidney filtration and unnecessarily prolong hyperglycemia. And it increases the risk of ketosis in more specific cases, especially for those living with type 1 diabetes. So, obviously, I have to tell you that water won't replace any kind of medication. But without enough water, the body also can't function the way it should, the way it was designed to. Water isn't going to work any miracles, but it is essential for your body to function in a balanced way, and not just for blood sugar. Some people also want to know if there's an ideal amount of water for everyone, and well, there's no one-size-fits-all recipe for everyone. Normally, studies suggest around 8 cups of water per day, but this will always depend on the individual. How much they sweat if they live in a very hot place, how much they urinated during the day, and the foods they eat, which already contain some water. So, it will always vary, but if you try to aim for about 8 cups, give or take a little more or a little less. That's usually fine, and the most important thing is to listen to your own body and determine, am I feeling thirsty? If so, drink more water. You know, it could be that you have a greater need, okay? Remember that some people who have kidney problems and are being monitored by a nutritionist or doctor in this regard may have different needs. So, once again, if you already have a specific recommendation for your case, always follow the guidance of the professional who knows you, advises you, and accompanies you in your city. Tell me if you knew about this issue of water and glucose, if you knew about this issue of urinating. I would love to see your comment. I also have a really cool video here talking more about the color of urine and what it can show us. I'll leave that video down below in the description. Remember to leave your like on the video, it helps me a lot, and share it with anyone who will enjoy it or needs it. Let's work together to expand this chain of good, because that's what I want here with the channel. See you next time. Bye.